Hi, everyone. It is Sunday, January 23rd, 2022. Hard to believe that. And it is the Morgellons Call of the Week. I am Robin from Western Mass, the co-host of today's call. I'm thrilled to be here with you guys. The reason I'm the co-host is because Richard Kuhn's book and his protocols and the diet really basically saved my life and my sanity. It's a long story, and I've talked about it on many other calls, so they're on YouTube. You can hear them. But I'm so grateful to be able to give back and to be here. Richard is, in my opinion, the leading, foremost expert on Morgellons and skin parasites anywhere that I have found. He has been through it. He has done great research. He's found practical solutions, and he never stops learning and never stops researching. The book is currently being worked on, and it's in the 11th edition. And each edition just gets better and has more information. It's amazing. So I'm so thrilled to be here with you guys today, and please join me in welcoming Richard Kuhn.
Thank you, Robin. It's always a pleasure to be here. I look forward to Sunday afternoons. Boy, we have a lot of people here today. It must be about 300 tuned in already. Wouldn't that be great, Robin? Anyway, we have, I know a lot of people that have questions, and they've given already their last 4 digits of their phone number. If you haven't already done that, do text Chris and give him your last 4 digits, and he'll open the line at the appropriate time for you to ask a question of either me or Robin. Anyway, this is a working call for people who are in the program. We welcome others to tune in and watch and see if our program is for them. I mean, I don't know, there must be other things on the internet that claim that they can help you with Morgellons. Hey, Robin said it all. I've been in the trenches. I've dealt with it. I've had Morgellons. I've had Collembola. That's springtails. I've had Strongyloides cervicalis. I've had Lyme disease. I've had it all. It's a wonder I'm not dead. I'm alive, functioning, and I can eat anything I want. And the program is based on a diet that I did discover that saved my sanity and has saved the sanity of many, many others. And it is a strict diet. And it's important that instead of just doing the diet, that you figure out how to make it work, because the rewards are tremendous. I mean, tremendous. Instead of going to bed and waking up a few hours later with itching and scratching, get to sleep a whole night long. A whole night of pleasant sleep once this diet kicks in. It's phenomenal. Don't ask me how it works. I don't know how the hell it works. It just works. I don't know what it does. It just does what it does. It seems to put the organisms into a trance. Because until they're in this trance, you're a walking, talking, breeding machine. And we've discussed that many times. And they're shedding from your skin and constantly until you get them under control. And that's what the diet does. So we're going to jump right into the questions and answers. And to be legit and on board with federal regulations, it's important for me to let everybody know that none of us, neither me nor any of my coaches, we have about 4 phenomenal, wonderful coaches that work for free and are available to help you with telephone conversations to get over the hurdles, because there are hurdles. It's not easy. I mean, it wasn't easy for me. It's not easy for anybody. And we constantly do research and learn things that can make it faster and better to get our lives back and handle more of the cofactors and complications that often come along with Morgellons, whether it be fungal issues or internal parasites or intestinal parasites and Lyme disease and EMF and all the different cofactors that get involved and complicate the matter of getting your life back. And stress management. We also have a separate segment for managing stress that Robin often sings a song for us, because that's a very good way. I mean, entertainment is good to help manage stress. And so, well, anyway, federal regulations instruct me to tell you that none of us are medical doctors, and therefore, before you even start the King diet, which is strict, it's a healthy diet. It's not like any other diet in the world. So don't tell me, oh, I'm doing the paleo diet, or I'm doing the caveman diet, or no, I'm doing Atkinson. Hey, forget it. Those diets are fine for whatever they are used for, but not for parasites, not for skin parasites. So get that out of your mind. Don't think you can adapt some other diet to work for the skin parasites. This one is strict. The results are there, and the rewards are there. But before you start this phenomenal diet or accept any of our recommendations, you are to thoroughly discuss them with your medical doctor to make sure they do not interfere with any health problems you're presently experiencing. And of course, us not being medical doctors, we're not trained. So the AMA tells us to tell you and remind you that we're not medical doctors. Therefore, we cannot diagnose you, cure you, treat you, or mitigate any disease. But what we can do is educate, and that's what we do. And my book, as Robin mentioned earlier, is in the 11th edition. The 11th edition. Not, most people are lucky if they get past the first edition. This is the 11th edition, and I don't see the editions ever stopping, because this Morgellons, until the medical community recognizes its existence and gets on board, I'm going to be here, and we're going to keep learning, and we're going to keep coming up with shortcuts. Or, as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of complications, and I know a lot about fungal issues, intestinal parasites, but there are other issues that crop up as well, which I'm pretty ignorant, and I learn. As I learn about them, it gets incorporated in the book, so more people can benefit from the diet and the program. So we are allowed to educate you in how to use the King diet to, seemingly put these things to sleep, how to build health and immune functioning through targeted supplements, and all the other things that we do, even down to grounding blankets for grounding purposes, and we've done a video on that. So, Chris, we'll start right off with questions. Do you have anybody lined up already to ask questions in the question bin?
Yeah, give me a second, Richard.
All right. While you're doing that, I'll come up with one that a lady wrote in, and she writes, "Hello, Richard. I've been collecting samples taken from under my skin and inside my lesions." Oh, isn't that wonderful? I mean, hey, would you please raise your hand if you haven't done that? I mean, just about everybody does that. They get the greatest, most beautiful photographs and microscopy. And what do you do with it? You take it to the doctor. And what does the doctor tell you, Robin?
It's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing.
I do have a microscope, and they do appear as some type of bug. Do you know anyone who would be willing to properly identify exactly what they are? Thank you. Her name is Anna. Okay. All right. Well, number one, Anna, if you identify what the hell they are, who in the hell would know how to treat them? The only reason that anybody would want to know identification of, say, for instance, well, there are many kinds of organisms. So identify Morgellons, and nobody can. I mean, we know it produces filaments and fibers, and that's all you have to know. If your body produces filaments and fibers, or you find cotton-like or lint-like substance lying around in your bedding and clothing without any reasonable explanation, that's a good idea. It's Morgellons. But who knows how to treat it? They forget it. Collembola, springtails. Hey, if we identify them, who would know what to do with it? So you can identify them all you want. What?
Some exterminators know how to clear a house of springtails and mites, and there's hard to find a good one, but they do exist, and they are very helpful if you're dealing with that, or fleas or bed bugs, which also can carry Morgellons. So if you have real insects and you have samples, then it's worth finding out what they are so that you can get an exterminator to partner with you.
Well, it's real easy to find out if you have springtails, and that is, number one, just get a glue board. You can get them from any do-your-own pest control or whatever. You set out a white glue board, and if you have springtails, you're going to see them jumping on it, and you'll see them there. And then you can call an exterminating company and have them come over. It may be beneficial to have them exterminated outside around your house. It could be helpful, very helpful, if you have a sick house that has them in the damp basement and leaky pipes and mold and stuff like that. They get all that taken care of. That's all discussed in the book and all very important. But it's not going to do a damn thing for getting them out of your skin or out of your skin, out of your body. Nothing. So even if they're identified, you still won't know what to do because you're still a walking, talking breeding machine. Even though you get them out of your environment, you still won't know what to do to get rid of that itch 3 o'clock in the morning that drives you nuts. I know, I've been there many, many times. So, but where it makes sense to get identification would be if it might be a mite, some type of infestation of mites. And only, not for treatment, because nobody really knows how to treat mites. I mean, you could probably go to 1,000 doctors before you would find one who might know anything about it or acknowledge that they exist on human skin. But if you have an apartment and there's an infestation and it's bugging you and your landlord won't do anything about it, well, then you can go to a company like, it is at vetdna.com. Send a sample. You can get in contact with them, send them a sample, and they can identify it. You can come back to your landlord or your lawyer and say, hey, this is an infestation my landlord will do nothing about. Help me. Or maybe that alone will be enough to get the landlord to get the exterminator over and make the expenditure to clean out your environment. But you still got to get them out of your skin. Yes, Robin.
I do want to say, I know this is a lucky, rare instance, but I did find a dermatologist who did a skin scraping for DNA and said the results were, she said, yes, you have some kind of mites. I don't know what they are, but they're definitely there. And she prescribed a prescription cream that was really helpful, betamethasone cream, which was really, really part of what I did to get well. I mean, it wouldn't have gotten me well without everything in your book, but it was a nice addition.
Well, yes, like I said, how many doctors are going to know enough to do that? 1 out of 10,000 maybe? I happen to be one of the lucky people like you. I went to a dermatologist, and many people have been on this program and shared they've been to as many as 40 doctors and gotten no results. And fortunately, I did happen to find a dermatologist who knew about mites and infestations at a county fair in a 4-H tent that the straw was infested, and they used a treatment of Primazide, which we sometimes talk about, a medication to reduce dopamine uptake in the brain that helps the diet kick in when it's sometimes difficult for the diet to kick in. And that was extremely helpful for me to be able to go from stage 1 of the diet to stage 2 of the diet. That was extremely helpful. So, but the likelihood of finding one of these doctors is pretty much zippo, unfortunately.
Yes. They look like little black dots. Are those the mites?
Okay, little black dots that you find, they could be red, they could be different colors, but you really need to get a magnifying glass and look at it closely, because it could be one of two things. It could be Morgellons, so if you're looking at it under a magnifying glass, you would see the indication of, instead of being a solid dot, it would be tightly woven filaments, which would be an indication of Morgellons. If it's tight and not, you don't see the filaments there, Well, then that's most likely some kind of mite. It's probably most likely a dead one that you find.
Okay.
Okay?
And do they come through the skin? Do they cause a sticking feeling like a needle?
Oh, they'll biting. Yeah, I mean, biting, itching. It's hard to separate the actual symptoms from the mite, from the other organisms they bring, which are Morgellons and alpha. See, mites, as Robin mentioned earlier, are vectors. What is a vector? A vector is an organism that is a carrier of something else. And in addition to them being a real nuisance on your body, they also bring the springtails, technically called Collembola, and or Morgellons to you, which even after you get rid of the mites, you still may be plagued with the other organisms. Okay.
I have had the crystals and the filaments through my skin, and here lately it's been a small black dot. But they're like a sticker, but they're so small.
Yeah, the black dots can be like that. I mean, there are 40,000 species of different kinds of mites, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. And how many? You know, typically there are rat mites, bird mites, noceums, red mite. You know, there's maybe about a half a dozen that typically seem to like mankind. So there's no reason to really, as I mentioned before, identifying them except for maybe legal terms or legal reasons. There's really no reason to identify them. It's just knowing what to do about them, which is what our program is about, how to get them out of your skin.
Are they on your intestines also, or just on the outside skin?
Well, they're generally not internal. They're generally on the skin. I don't know. I don't know of them going below the layers of the skin as far as mites go. Now, when it comes to Morgellons and when it comes to springtails, well, I think they go. Well, Morgellons definitely is an internal organism, and springtails to a large degree, I believe, as well. But we don't have enough research one way or the other. I mean, there's only scant research available in the course of the last 100 or so years that even indicates or finds that springtails are a pest beyond a pest, more than a pest, but actually can live in human skin. And we don't know how deep they go. If they can go systemically or not, we don't know.
Does there happen to be a doctor that anyone knows of in the Tucson, Arizona, or Phoenix area?
Well, my goodness, here's my next question. And that question is, do you know of any physicians in the USA that treat Morgellons? If so, would you mind sending me their names? I'm at my wit's end. It's infesting my ears, and I see a picture of below her earlobe of a lesion that she sent along. Well, Robin, you've been editing the book. Chapter 2 talks about diagnoses. Chapter 6 talks about doctors. Are there any doctors that actually treat Morgellons in the United States or in the world, that matter, Robin?
Well, there are what's called Lyme literate doctors.
No, wait. That's not Morgellons.
No, I know, but I'm saying that they claim, these doctors claim, some of them, to treat Morgellons as well as Lyme disease, and I have no information about if they're successful over long term.
Let's explain what Robin is saying. Number one, there is no doctor in this country, to my knowledge, that treats Morgellons disease as Morgellons disease. It is not recognized by the CDC as an organic disease. It's recognized as a delusional problem. So you don't get a diagnosis of it being a medical problem to qualify for medical treatment through your insurance company. But in Chapter 6, there are about maybe 7 or 8 doctors that are mentioned in there. I'm sure there are others that have come along that treat Morgellons as Lyme disease, because in 90% of the Morgellons patients, the research done by the Charles Holman, or reported by Charles Holman Association, indicates that Lyme, one of 2 spirochetes, are connected with their Morgellons. So it's treated via antibiotics through as Lyme disease. Yes.
There's also the issue, another side of that issue is that to get insurance to pay, it has to be something that insurance will cover. So I have spoken with doctors who believe that Morgellons is real, but they refuse to treat it because the only way they can get paid without losing their license is to call it Lyme disease.
Right. That's the only way to be treated.
But it doesn't mean that they think that it's Lyme disease. There are actually some doctors out there who will believe you, but they're limited what they can do.
Right.
Because of this health system.
And even so, when you go to the doctors listed in Chapter 6, which may be Dr. Saverly, Dr. Cornish, Dr. Bransfield, for instance, don't expect medical insurance to cover it. Diddles. It's
right, well, a lot of those doctors refuse to take insurance because they can lose their license by what they're doing.
The bottom line is, the answer is, there's nobody in the country that treats Morgellons disease. Don't look to me for finding somebody in Chicago that's going to help you, or in anywhere, Boston or anywhere. There are no doctors. This is it. You've come to it. This is it. Or anyone else that you can find.
You said that they were wound real tight, and they might be dead. The little black specks I have.
Yes.
That's what happens with them. They die on your skin.
Yeah, they die in your skin. They die normally through their own life expands, or if you're using something that's going to be toxic to them, like oftentimes the doctors will prescribe what is it, Lindane, or the prednisone, not prednisone, the permethrin. Permethrin, right. They prescribe those kinds of medications that, and they often treat them as scabies. You know, oftentimes Morgellons is misdiagnosed as something else, like diagnosed as scabies. I've even seen people be diagnosed as MRSA.
Yeah.
Who have had Morgellons. So when it is diagnosed, it's often misdiagnosed. But the treatments may be to some degree beneficial for a few days, but that's about it. And when you ask them about eating, okay, so what will the doctor tell you about what you should eat? Robin, what will the doctor tell you?
99% of doctors will say diet has nothing to do with it. I had a Lyme doctor who told me about the importance of diet. She did not know about you or your diet, but because she hammered into me the importance of diet when I found you, I was much more receptive to it. But most doctors they're not trained in nutrition, they're not trained in diet, they don't see any correlation. But there is.
The most that you will get from the medical doctor, the most understanding and intelligent doctor in this field, will say eat healthy.
Right.
Get rid of sweets, get rid of carbohydrates, like refined carbohydrates, ice cream and things like that have sugar. Get rid of that kind of stuff and eat vegetables and eat protein and eat your fruits, okay?
Right.
Eat your 3 basic things there, and your fats, of course. That's the best advice you're going to get from a doctor.
Right.
Of course, the doctor has no idea that the fats, like olive oil, are going to feed the Morgellons and make it worse, or that the vegetables like artichokes or asparagus or Brussels sprouts or sweet corn are going to make it worse or be a problem. The doctor has no concept about that. I wouldn't expect him to.
Right.
Okay, who's next, Chris? Thank you.
Hello, Richard. I'm here in Bluffton, South Carolina, and I'm getting better. I am doing better. This is my second round of getting after a reinfection. So just to remind you, and I started the Pimazide again because I felt that the diet wasn't working alone as well as it did the first time. And I also cut out rice bran oil because I read something you just sent out about the rice bran oil, and that seems to have helped as well, that I stopped using the rice bran oil. But I did bump up my Pimazide to I'm taking 3/4 in the morning of a pill, and then and then a half a pill at night. So I'm bumping that up, and it seems to be helping. Last night I had kind of a meltdown because the biting started at night. I did your NG. I soaked my socks for the first time with the NG stuff because my feet are a big issue. My hair was also a big issue because I have very thick hair. But the hair is doing better because I'm doing more of the the shower cap treatments during the day when I'm home and leaving it on for the whole day. So that's doing a lot better. My skin is clearing up quite a lot. My skin has really actually cleared up, but every once in a while I'll find a new little drill hole, where I think a mite is drilling into my skin or something, And last night, I felt like, I got a couple pinches last night, and then this activity around my feet all the time. So, and I do wear the socks at night, every night. I was putting diatomaceous earth in them at night, but I tried your dampening with the NG body wipe idea last night, and I think it was better, but I still had a lot of activity.
Great. Okay, so you're on your way back. That's good. Now, reinfection, that comes up. I mean, it's unlikely that you're going to get your life back and never get reinfected. The difference being the second time around, we hope that, well, you'll know what to do the second time around. It is generally never a cakewalk, but you'll know what to do. I have an admission.
Yeah.
I have an admission to make. I got reinfected yesterday. And it's diet connected. I eat anything I want. About maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I got into oatmeal for breakfast, and I just love oatmeal with some honey and bananas. And I don't know why my wife always gets these strawberries, and strawberries are okay. And I had an issue, I know, about 6 months ago where I had eaten too many strawberries. Well, so I'm down to 1 or 2 strawberries a day, and this is going on for a couple of months. And sure enough, yesterday they came, I knew it. And what she was referring to is I did an update, I don't know, a couple of years ago. I discovered that one of the best things you can do with springtails, because they are often around the ankles and lower legs, is foot baths. But even better than that, particularly you can't do a foot bath when you're in bed, it just doesn't make sense. So even better than that is wear socks and make them wet. Wet your socks in the areas where you feel them on you don't have to wet the entire sock, just around the ankle or the area that you feel them. And that's like keeping them in a bath until your sock dries. And wow, so yes, okay, yesterday about 2 p.m. I discovered, yes, I have an infection, and gone today, gone. It's a blip in my life, a blip. No more strawberries, no more oatmeal for a while. Okay, I'll get back to strawberries and oatmeal next month maybe. But right now, it was a blip. And that's all it ever needs to be when you catch it early and know exactly what to do.
Okay, well, I didn't catch it early. I had become reinfected about last month with my bedspread that I had. I told you this last 2 weeks ago. a bedspread that I had not taken out since last year, and I had it dry cleaned only, and I didn't put new vent strips or anything in it, and I should have done that first and disinfected it that way. But so I was reinfected for several weeks before I realized what was going on, and I had the Morgellons stuff, and I had mites and stuff, and I think I have more mites than Morgellons at this point. I think I've kind of nipped the Morgellons in the bud pretty much, but the mites are, I have a mite problem, I think.
Okay,
so,
this morning update was about our people in Mexico that have been supplying us with the Lufenuron. That's another question here that has come up. Well, they have been working with us and supplying us Lufenuron since, I don't know, about maybe 10 years now, 8 or 10 years. And Lufenuron is a medication we've often talked about on these programs for reducing fungal activity, inhibiting chitin. And about a year and a half ago, they added Fen Ben, fenbenzidol, which is, according to Dr. Luna, the equivalent of human albendazole. And now, just over a year now, they have been giving out some samples of Nitenpyram, which is another medication that seems to be very effective against mites. So that update went out this morning. And here's a question that was related to that update that somebody sent in that I wanted to share. He writes, "Hi Richard, I always worry that Mexican pharmacies could send fake pills. Do you totally trust this pharmacy? I am guessing you do, Crystal." Well, yes, because this is not a pharmacy. Dr. Luna and I have been working in tandem like for 8 or so years since we discovered each other. He has a clinic in Mexico for cancer. And what he does in the treatment of cancer is he gives every patient Lufenuron. Why? Well, because cofactors, and what I mentioned earlier in this program, the cofactors, often if they're not dealt with effectively, will inhibit any progress. So he gives all of his patients Lufenuron. And then he added fenbenzidol because intestinal parasites, I mean, gosh, if you go back in our blog and you search for intestinal parasites, there's a couple of doctors that I quoted that if you have a heartbeat, you have intestinal parasites. I mean, it's as simple as that. And most people don't even know they have intestinal parasites. And they usually are not even an issue or a factor until you have something like Morgellons come into your life. So my basic approach is just like his, is basically do the Lufenuron. In fact, there are many people who have written me and said that Lufenuron cured them of Morgellons. Well, getting rid of the fungal issues can often pave tremendous strides in getting rid of Morgellons, is what they're telling me. Likewise, getting rid of intestinal parasites can often pave the path to getting rid of Morgellons a lot faster and quicker, which is why we have these. And what has now come along is this Nitenpyram, which is Robin, you had used the Nitenpyram. What was your experience?
So Nitenpyram, it's also called the flea killer, and again, it's for dogs and cats, just like Lufenuron is also used for dogs and cats. But in my experience, anything that kills fleas kills mites.
No, we don't want to tell people it's used for dogs and cats because they're not barking and meowing.
Well, I'm saying that because people are constantly asking me, but this is for an animal, can I take it? And the answer is yes, you can.
This tells you how far behind our medical community is in this country. Right. Your veterinarian will treat your cat and dog with these medications, but your doctor, I mean, you're like your cat and dog. You can pick up these organisms. You can be affected with fungal organisms and intestinal parasites just as easily as your cat and dog. In fact, you can catch intestinal parasites from your cat and dog. So, but they don't treat you. They don't do stool tests. They don't do a stool analysis. They keep these medications from you. Don't even offer them. But fortunately,
I agree. And I did read that issue that you just sent out about these drugs. And I guess these are, the Nitenpyram is available at like you said, a Petco, but the Lufenuron and the Fen Ben I'd have to get from Mexico, right?
They're all available from the same place. Now, here's it. They're not a pharmacy in Mexico. It's not a pharmacy. This is an individual who has his own clinic in the treatment of cancer, and he has a source and produces these capsules, and we take advantage of them. So we order them from Mexico, and they are shipped to you from, I believe it's Austin, Texas. I know it's Texas.
Okay.
I believe it's Austin, Texas.
Right. Okay. I saw that. I saw the link on your site, on the email that you sent.
Okay.
Yes.
So
okay.
The other thing about Nitenpyram is that for it to work for people, you have to get it for extra large dogs, so it's the right dosage.
Yeah, they have the dosage listed on the page. They have the dosage listed on the page when you go there.
Do you take that orally, or is that an external?
Oral.
It's oral.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an oral. Okay. Okay.
And the Nitenpyram is different than the Lufenuron treatment for Morgellons. You take it once a day with 10 grams of fat for 90 days. And the Nitenpyram you take like one pill every 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Okay, because I may need both, because I think I have mites. I know I have some Morgellons, but like I said, I think the diet and the diet really works well for the Morgellons, and I'm not seeing a lot of stuff coming out in the tub when I'm soaking now. There's nothing actually that I'm seeing. But I have little tiny white dots in my hair that I pick out with a nit comb if I feel kind of like itchy up on my head or something. I'll pull them out. And they'll fall onto my shoulders. Like almost like little dandruff, but it's not really dandruff. It's something. They're little white, tiny balls.
Well, that's progress. So you're coming along, and that's great. Like the second time around is always quicker than the first time. The first time took me years. The second time, maybe it took me 1 year. And now it only takes me, you catch it early, it only takes a few hours to deal with it.
Well, I can tell you that during the day, I don't feel like I have anything on me. I mean, anywhere. I feel my clothing doesn't itch. Nothing itches during the day. It's only at night, right at around 11:30 midnight, it starts to just, things just go south, and I just get real down because I can't sleep. It's like that's when you want to sleep, and and things start biting me and itching me, and it's.
Do you take a bath before bedtime? Yeah. And this is happening after you take the bath with the Nature's Gift and disinfectant?
Yeah. I feel great. I feel great after the bath, and then within an hour that I get into bed, it just, it's like all hell breaks loose.
I think Robin will agree, is that you have a problem with reinfestation from somehow in your bedding. Are you using a plastic mattress?
I just went to the vinyl about 2 weeks ago. Remember, Robin, you and I talked about that I was using the Allergies ones, and you said they won't work. And so I went to the vinyl about 2-3 weeks ago, and I've got vinyl on there, and it's a very sweaty sleep, but I get to sleep.
Well, you can add extra sheets on top.
Oh, okay. So I have a bed sheet. I have the bed sheet, the fitted sheet, and then I have a duvet with another vinyl zippered thing with a blanket inside the duvet, inside the vinyl thing. Yeah, and
you want to make sure you have Nuvon strips or menthol crystals inside the vinyl, so that whatever's in there is going to die.
Correct. I put, yes,
And then
we installed those.
after your bath, you want to do like the treatment with oils, essential oils, and rubbing diatomaceous earth all over your body before you put on any pajamas or anything. Because as you get better, sometimes the things are smaller and deeper and harder to get out of your skin.
Yeah, they're tiny. I mean, they're like they're smaller than a pinpoint at this point. I mean, I can kind of, I know what to look for now, and
right.
but, I didn't even know I didn't even know I still had stuff on me until I started using the knit comb through my hair. And again, when you mentioned that on last week's call, something about the knit comb, and I said, gosh, maybe I should knit my hair, So. I'm a little bit nervous about the diatomaceous earth, especially above the waist area, just because I'm afraid about breathing it.
If you're using oils on your body and then you just dip your hand into diatomaceous earth and pat it on your skin, there's no dust. And if you have oils and things on your hair and then you pat it on your hair and then you tie your hair up, however, with a plastic bag or a bathing cap or a cancer cap, none of that is going to get out for you to breathe.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, our super MSM gel has diatomaceous earth in it. You just have to shake the bottle up before you use it.
And that stuff's wonderful.
I do use that. I actually do use that. The minute I got a little pinch last night, I got that bottle and I slapped it right on and it stopped the pinching.
Right.
How fast that works?
Yes, it does work very quickly. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Is the diatomaceous earth, though, I do have another question about that. Is it dangerous to breathe that because it does cut the animals, the little
you don't want to breathe it.
I mean,
you can rub it on your skin, you can drink it, but you can put it on the floors, on carpets, but don't breathe in the dust.
Yeah, you don't want to breathe.
Okay. Yes, that's what I thought. Okay.
And to me, with everybody wearing masks, it's easy to grab your mask and put it on to apply it. But, with diatomaceous earth, you don't have to actually dust it. You can spray it. You can put a few tablespoons in a 32-ounce spray bottle, add some water, shake it up, and spray it on as a liquid. You want to be careful because if you won't see it because it's wet. And when it dries, if you spray too much, it'll be a thick coating of cake coating of diatomaceous earth. So you just want to spray lightly.
Okay.
We're here to support you in getting your life back, and we're always looking for coaches, and particularly the best coach is one who has worked with the diet, knows the diet's work, gotten her life back, and then lost it again and gotten it back again, or on the way to getting it back. So we're always welcome coaches. So if you have time to help out, we appreciate anyone. We'd love you to have you as part of our coaching team.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So here's another email. Today's call was about where to find a doctor, and it wasn't just from one email I got. Here, I got another email this week. I truly appreciate all the information and plan to be involved next Sunday phone call. If there is one, I watched the replay last Sunday call and found it very helpful on stress. I was wondering if you could recommend a doctor near me, who could diagnose me that I could see. I live in somewhere, a little town in Michigan, bordering Wisconsin. Oh, there you go. Everybody's looking for the doctor. I look for the doctor, and it's normal to look for the doctor, but there is no doctor.
It is a self-help program, and you have doctors listed in the book. You have all kinds of stuff, and, it isn't, we can't spoon feed. I mean, first of all, there is no doctor. Second of all, you have to figure these things out. We tell you things over and over, but people, don't listen.
Well, yeah, when anybody asks me for a doctor, I ask them if they read the book because, I could understand it if the book was 15 years old. But, last time it was released was only, 2020 or so. So 19. So there are no doctors. And it's important to read the book. Read the book.
Right.
Okay. Here's another one that came in. Thank you. I had a spot on my neck got a big ball under it. I pushed on it, and it went down. I figured it would be okay because I'm on antibiotics, but somehow I have them draining into my throat. Now, that's apparently she ruptured. There must have been an accumulation or an infestation there, and she ruptured it, and they're draining into her throat. What did I do wrong? Well, I don't know if you did anything wrong. Bottom line is, it's probably normal for anybody to do what you did, but you had no idea that this thing would rupture and drain into your throat. So the good news is that she's already on antibiotics, so any bacterial aspect that would be there is going to be taken care of, hopefully, by the antibiotics. As far as the organisms go, well, that's where we may consider consuming the mouthwash, because the mouthwash is nature's gift, and just as it will clean them out of your skin, it will clean them out of wherever they happen to be. And many people do. It is part of our intestinal approach. You know, in terms of dealing with intestinal parasites, I recommend that everybody uses the diatomaceous earth, consuming it, as Robin mentioned earlier, a couple times a day. That they also use and consume the mouthwash, because it will clean out intestinal parasites, and the Fen Benzidol. That's our approach, as opposed to using wormwood or black walnut hull, which has seemingly it feeds the Collembola. So you know, I would think that the drainage would, as it's been ruptured, would subside in time, and that the anything into the throat would be taken care of with the consuming the mouthwash.
And also, I mean, the antibiotics have a role to play, but you can't ignore the diet just because you're on antibiotics.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. Definitely keep on the diet. And we also have our own natural, you know, if you look it up in Wikipedia, allicin, which is in our Garcillin product, and Wikipedia says it's a natural antibiotic, antiviral, antiprotozoan, and antiparasitic, antifungal. So, and it is a phenomenal product. So we also have that as well to take care of any things like this. She also says, can the soap dehydrate you? Well, that's the amazing thing about the soap, because it does the opposite. It actually is what we call a surfactant. It breaks up the molecular bonds of water so that water, instead of being clumped in, if you have a cup of water and you look at it, it's not H2O, it's clumped together like H20O10 with molecular bonds. So it's really rather large. So the surfactant, our nature's gift, breaks it up into H2O. So H2O has a molecular size of 3 angstroms, and our surfactant, the answer is it actually hydrates you. So our skin creams, our lotions, our nature's gift actually contributes to hydrating your body, because it breaks up the molecular bonding of water so it can go deep into the deeper layers of your skin. And as she wraps up, sitting at the ER waiting on the doctors somehow has given me some ability to concentrate. I hope they can fix me. Well, good luck there. More people have been thrown out of ERs. I don't know of anybody who's ever reported that going to an ER has been of any benefit in dealing with skin parasites. But I get many, many stories of them having been thrown out of ERs because of that. Okay, who's next, Chris?
Hello, Richard. How you doing?
Hi.
Hey. Yeah, a couple things. Boy, this is a long and difficult journey, and lot of trial and error, and when you make mistakes, you pay a very dear price. But anyway, what I'm finding lately is that perhaps my environment is worse than I thought, and all of the things that I'm doing are helping clean out my skin, but the fact that I'm still in the bad environment is causing me daily reinfections, and that's very frustrating, so I'm hitting that extra hard. I was about to go back on Lufenuron. I went on Lufenuron for the 96-day course, which maybe wasn't just long enough, about a year ago. Or maybe it's just that my environment wasn't clean enough. And just when I was about to go back on Lufenuron, I saw your update this morning about the Nitenpyram. It sounds like that could be successful against springtail, which is my
You
problem.
need to do both.
Yeah, I wouldn't just pick one. You know, hit it with everything you got. But talking about your environment, is it the house or is it apartment, or what part of the environment do you feel is an issue?
Well, you know, if I turn out the lights at night and turn on a flashlight, I see them just buzzing around in the air, not in a cloud. And when I see that, of course, it's very horrifying.
So you're saying they're airborne?
Yeah.
Okay, do you have the electrostatic sprayer?
I just got one. I haven't even had it for a week. And it does seem to be helping. So I need to use that a lot.
Yeah, put that to work. Use it several times a day because it'll take them right out of the air. You're dealing with these organisms. They're on the walls, they're on the ceilings, so that the good thing about the electrostatic sprayer is that you don't have to mop down your walls and ceilings like I saw years ago on a YouTube video of somebody dealing with a similar thing in their home. The electrostatic sprayer would take care of it in seconds.
Yeah. So what you're saying is I should be on the Lufenuron and the Nitenpyram, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should also the Fen Ben. Look into the Fen Ben and for the intestinal parasites, if they're an issue.
I don't believe intestinal parasites are. I detoxed for intestinal parasites prior to having this problem 5 or 6 years ago with a naturopathic physician, and that intestinal parasite detox is very unpleasant because parasites fought back.
Right.
I may or may not have intestinal parasites, but my immediate problem are the springtails in my skin. I need to hit those hard.
And Teresa, I do want to say that when I was my first, battle with these things, I did 4 rounds of Lufenuron, and I just started a new round now.
Yeah. And after the 4 rounds, did you feel like you were clear? Your house?
Well, I was done, and I was totally clear.
Yeah. Now, Richard, I know this is a question. So it sounds like I should go back on the Lufenuron and the Nitenpyram, and Robin, you said to take the Nitenpyram every 3 or 4 days.
Right.
I might start with the 45 capsules and then for 3 months do both. With these, I'll probably have to purchase again and do it again after that. Using the electrostatic sprayer, I'm doubling down a little bit on the garden state fungicide and the flea bombing and the ozone because I'm absolutely desperate. I need to get these things out of my environment because it feels like I know that I can do things to get them out of my skin, but they just keep getting back in again.
Do you know how they got in your environment? Did you bring them in, or they? Do you know any idea how you got them?
I initially moved into an apartment where they already were.
I see. Okay.
And then I walked away from 75% of what I owned and moved into a small 620 square foot studio apartment and disinfected and cleaned and bombed and ammoniaed the hell out of everything and put everything in bags and bins. But of course, sure enough, they came with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very frustrating that I've been 1 year in this tiny apartment and I can't get this under control.
Well, I think now that you have the electrostatic sprayer, you have a much better chance of dealing with the environment. And you can use either the enzymes that we have in the store by themselves. Don't mix the enzymes with anything else. Or you can use the Benefect disinfectant, which is organic and can be sprayed on your kitchen utensils, even on your food because it's thyme. Or you can also use the Metaclean, but that's chemical, and you don't want to spray it around your kitchen area.
I'm interested in the Benefact, but is that just to kill bacteria, or will it also kill springtail?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah, fungal, everything.
You talked about the bacteria and disinfecting in your email. I think it was last week. And I think sometimes, you get focused on the springtails and you forget about the bacteria, or you focus on the bacteria and maybe you lighten up on the springtails, which you can't do. You have to fight on all fronts.
I've found that anything that kills bacteria also kills springtails.
And do you find that to be true? Because this is my next thing. Right now, my skin is doing very well. It's doing better than it's been in a long time. I have almost no lesions left. And I haven't bought any in 6 months or more. Yet, they're still in my environment. So, for whatever reason, maybe they're not biting me so much as they used to. I don't know. But they're there. So I have to fight them. Right now, I'm doubling down on antifungal cream because my skin does itch and burn and it's very dry and tight. And the antifungal cream does make it feel better, and it does make the white nose under the skin kind of disappear. Do you feel, Robin, that antifungal cream is also fighting the springtails?
What antifungal cream are you speaking of?
Well, in this case, I'm using the one clomitrazole, which I was going to ask you.
Well, that has no impact on springtails. It's good for fungal issues. You can also use apple cider vinegar, which is also very good. But that fungal cream will have no impact on springtails. I tried that out many, many years ago. I went through all the fungal creams that are even in the ladies' department, and nothing worked for springtails.
So if an antifungal cream is also antibacterial, I really believe anything antibacterial kills organisms as well, and that might help, but you'd have to try it.
It depends on the strength of it, is the question. And usually...
I think it needs to be prescription.
Yeah, the strength usually would have to be prescription strength.
It is helping my skin quite a lot. And the one that I'm buying, it's over the counter, but it is prescription strength because I've had it from the skin doctor. I've had the same thing. So it is helping my skin. So Richard, final question about nodes. You say in your materials that nodes are a symptom of Morgellons, and you say that nodes are a symptom of springtails. Are they both? And
so what are symptom nodes?
Nodes under the skin.
Like little bumps.
Purgula nodularis, we don't know what the hell it is. Whether it's a symptom of anything. It often shows up. It's a very unknown thing. You can research it on Google, and they don't know what causes it. They don't know where it comes from or how to treat it. But it often is associated with skin parasites. 90% of us have both Morgellons and springtails. So I can't say it's associated with one more than the other because just about everybody's got both.
But it came along with them. Okay.
Yeah, and oftentimes it does go away. When you get the diet and get your skin clean, they often disappear.
They are. They're much better. They're disappearing. They used to be huge. Now they're tiny. They used to be hard as a rock. Now they're soft.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm in the tub, I can just rub my skin lightly with my hands. When all this stuff is coming up in the tub, I have things coming out of me that are long, white, stringy, knotted things that almost look like the veins of shrimp when you devein shrimp. And sometimes they will come up all over my body in the tub. And when I pull my arm or my leg out of the tub, it looks like I'm wearing a lace shirt.
Okay. Well, my first question is, have you gotten the diet to kick in?
The diet is pretty good, but I don't think it's 100% because I think the stuff would stop coming if it was.
Right. So my suggestion is to focus on making the diet work. Figure out what you need to do to make a diet work. Everybody is different. The diet by itself is probably effective for maybe 90–95% of everybody, but there's a 5% for some reason or other they have to go to extremes. Some have reported they absolutely can have no grains whatsoever, no millet, no rye, no spelt, no rice, in order to get the diet to work. If there's a video that we did that's just about diet, it goes out with all these. You might want to check into that video because it gets into a lot of different things. One lady can't have any oils. No butter, no rice bran oil, no animal oil. So you need to figure out what you need to do to make the diet work because that's what's going to put these guys to sleep.
Yes, that's a good point, Richard. I could be one of those people. And I think that I have tried with the diet and think I should be having more success than I am.
Well, Teresa, you do keep adding things that you shouldn't be eating. And you eat them on a regular basis. So
what I have to eliminate now is say, maybe I have to try no spelt and no rice.
And no cheese. And no nuts.
Absolutely no cheese at all, not in stage 1.
Yeah, no, I don't have any cheese.
Okay.
Well, you did a week ago.
Of no rice and no spelt.
Okay, so your job is to focus on the diet because everything else is kind of a waste of time until you make that diet work.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Keep coming back. We're here to support you.
Yeah, this is Kristen.
Hi.
I really don't have any. Hi. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody because I'm kind of just listening today, but I've already learned so many important things that can help me, and I just really appreciate it. I need to get familiar with the King diet, though. This is my first call.
Well, welcome to the program. Love to have you. Keep coming back, and we're here to support you. Robin and I want to hear you say a few months from now, hey, because of you guys, I hung in there, I got it to work, and I got my life back.
Right. I would love to say that, too. So I'm definitely going to be back.
Okay. Keep coming back. Okay. You're welcome. Who's next?
Okay. This is Melanie. My biggest problem, I believe, is the mites. But the first year I thought it was lice, and I went to see someone to comb out my hair, and instead of having me cover my face, they just draped the wet hair over my face, and it all went up into my sinuses.
Oh,
and
God.
No lotion will get there. And the best I can do is my ENT said I could use the Navage, and it comes with salt pods or eucalyptus pods, and they just rinse out what's up there, what's hatching, but it's not enough to make them let go. But like when I use it, it just upsets the ones that are attached. Like the males just keep spewing out lots of sperm.
This is what we suggest. The Navage is the right way to go, and you're going to add a drop of the concentrated Nature's Gift to whatever you're using there now, eucalyptus or whatever. You're going to add a drop of the concentrated Nature's Gift to that solution, and let them fight that. If you want to know how Nature's Gift works, we go through this analogy. Why does it work? Well, it's 6 angstroms in size. That's what the carbon atom is. That's pretty damn tiny. Einstein says anything less than 1 angstrom is pure energy. So each of us weigh at least over 100 pounds, maybe 150, between 100 to 200 pounds, each of us. And if any of us get a little pebble in our shoe, what do you got to do? That little pebble is a tiny little thing, weighs less than a half a gram, maybe a quarter of a gram. But it irritates us, and we got to take our shoe off and get rid of that pebble. And you got to get rid of that pebble. You just can't walk around with a pebble in your shoe. Well, this is what Nature's Gift does. That tiny angstrom-sized particle irritates the hell out of these organisms, cleans them out. They can't stay there. They got to leave. So that's why you'll be adding a drop of the concentrate. It only takes a little bit, not much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I do have one small question.
You're going to do it several times. You're going to do it several times a day. What would you suggest, Robin? Maybe once an hour or once every half hour for a start?
Half hour.
Every half hour, you're going to do the Navage with a drop of the Nature's Gift in it. Okay.
I appreciate that. I do have one small question about the diet.
Yes.
And you can just say yay or nay. You're calling it the shrimp scampi diet and was talking about all these different seafoods and that I shouldn't eat salmon. But what about oysters? They're supposed to be low fat.
Yeah, oysters are
okay. It wasn't on your list, so I just wanted to ask since I just mail ordered some.
Oysters, clams, yeah, absolutely. It used to be called the ice cream diet back in 2006. I mean, because you can literally eat certain ice creams like Haagen-Dazs vanilla, Haagen-Dazs chocolate. There are no additives. But that was, for me, only dealing with springtails at that time. Ice cream is no good if you're also dealing with Morgellons. So that comes in stage 2 or stage 3, ice cream does for Morgellons. But stage 2 with springtails can be ice cream. So one guy made fun of me.
I'd love to try that. I know I need to stop eating ice cream right now.
Oh, definitely. If you're on ice cream right now, it's got to go. Sorry.
Yeah, I've cut out all the butter and all the chocolate, but
no, butter is fine.
I need to cut
butter
the
is fine.
Real butter is fine. Real butter.
Diet.
Real butter, okay.
Oil and are the only 2 things you can have besides animal fat.
No blends of butter.
What was the second one you said? Real butter and what?
Rice bran oil.
Rice bran
oil, yes.
Oil.
Okay.
We do have it in the store, and also any animal fat is okay. Animal fat, real butter, nothing hydrogenated or blends. It's got to be real butter. And
really? Okay. Because this problem, I really don't know where I got it, but it started about the same time I started eating the Meals on Wheels, and it's really, poor quality food, lots of greasy beef products, and I wasn't sure if that was part of the problem, so I stopped eating. I'd eat the vegetables and just throw away the greasy meats because I was hoping that would help.
Well, the only problem with the meats, if any of it might have been marinated in some kind of oil, would be the only problem with meats. Otherwise, it should be fine.
Okay, thank you.
Chicken, fish, non-oily fish, that is, turkey, beef, pork, they're all fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
You mentioned chocolate. Now, yes, chocolate with lecithin they use to make candy, no good. But cocoa, phenomenal. It's one of the
cocoa made with alkali.
Alkalized cocoa, yes. We have it in the store. The antioxidant value is incredible. So it's even better than acai berry or any other antioxidants that you're going to find. It's fantastic. So, okay, thank you.
But again, you know, making the diet work on stage 1, I couldn't, even on the beginning of stage 2, I couldn't do cocoa with alkali. And then towards the middle or end of stage 2, I was able to do it.
So yes, it's important to keep the diary. Keep the diary and make the diet work for you because you're worth it. Because when the diet works, it's going to repay you 100-fold in peace of mind and relief of itching. Yes.
Yeah. One other thing is, not only do I have the mites, but my cat has it as well. How do I get both of us treated? Because she'll get up in my face and she'll sneeze at the mites all over my face, and which is gross, but she's letting me know the only way she knows how that she needs help.
Number one, she has to be on the diet. Number 1, she's got to be eating the same things that you do that are on the diet. And number 2, Robin's going to tell you everything else.
Okay. Well, you know, I never put my cat on the king diet, but I did find really healthy cat food that had only 2 or 3 ingredients and no other stuff in it, which made a big difference, which is what I feed my cat. My cat is now 17, and my vet said she's never seen a cat this healthy. I got them at Agway. Yes. Okay, if you go to Agway, they have really healthy cat food because that you can't get other places. Also,
Agway.com.
Agway.com will help you find a store near you where you can get the stuff.
So what was the brand? What was the brand?
I can't remember the brand. You'd have to text me and I will send you the information. But you want to put your cat on Lufenuron and Nitenpyram. The Lufenuron once a month, the Nitenpyram every 3 or 4 days. They're capsules that you open and sprinkle on their food. You can also make your cat, like you could buy chicken livers at the grocery store, a container of chicken liver, boil them, and then just cut them up and feed that to your cat. They love chicken livers, and there's nothing bad in them because it's just plain chicken livers. And they're really easy for cats to digest. And then you also need, so Nitenpyram, Lufenuron, there's a website called Puppy Butt, I think. They sell Lufenuron and Nitenpyram for cats and dogs, and they're pretty cheap. You want to get a Seresto collar, which lasts about 8 months.
And how do you spell that?
S as in Sam, E-R-E, S as in Sam, T-O. Seresto collar. You can get them at a vet's, but they're cheaper online. And then you also want to get Adam's Pyrethrin Flea Dip for dogs and cats. It's a little blue bottle with a red cap. You can get it on Amazon or any online pet store. You use 1 capful in a cup of warm water. You hold your cat by the neck, and so you have 2 containers. They both have warm water, and one has a cap full of the Pyrethrin Flea Dip. And you have 2 clean washcloths. And with one, you rub it all over your cat. You hold them in the tub. It's a dry bath. It's a dip, not a bath. And you rub it all over them, and the goal is 8 minutes. And then you take the clean water and a clean washcloth and you wipe it all off of them. And you want to do that initially at least once a week. You could do it even twice a week. And then, you'll go to once every 2 weeks and then once a month just as maintenance. But those are the
and what was it called again? Adam's something?
Pyrethrin flea dip. Just look up Adam's flea dip and it'll come up.
Thank you.
Oh, and also diatomaceous earth. You can rub it in your cat's fur. You want to sprinkle it where they're sleeping. Rub it into their paws. Sprinkle it in the kitty litter.
Hi, Richard. Hi, Robin.
Hi, Tony.
I'm impressed with this call. There's so much information. You probably covered things I was going to ask, so thank you. I'm still like in perpetual, almost not being bugged by the bugs, but
I like the way you said that.
yeah, still at night I feel a little bit of the calling, but I kind of end up sleeping through it. Or I'll wake up and I'll just rub diatomaceous earth in and spray myself with the enzyme cleaner, and that seems to help. So I really missed the electrostatic sprayer when I had a clogged nozzle, and Ryobi was really nice about sending some extra ones. So all that helps along with the ozone generator. Well, anyway, I'll keep on doing that. Thank you for the inspiration. Look.
Thank you for coming back. I'm glad you're progressing. Tony has been with us every week for the last 6 weeks, and he's come from, tell us where you were from and where you're now, you know, in terms of progress.
Oh, I've been dealing with flies and I guess mites at work and at home for years, it seems. It always seems like my clothes were good and clean. I had them in a closed closet. I just wanted to get them out of the environment, so I got an ozone generator. I was spraying a couple times a week with all kinds of things. A couple times a day I was spraying, fogging doesn't work. But when I got the ozone generator, I was sprayed and opened up the closet, and I think I chased them into the clothes, and then it went into my chest and neck. It took over a month, maybe 2 months to get them out of my skin. And, fortunately, using the Nitenpyram and Lufenuron, I think that's how I got them out of the skin.
Great.
But I still get them flying around. I feel them land on my nose every once in a while, but it's just, you know, almost gone. The bees. It is a big difference, and I guess I'm very grateful for that.
Fantastic. Keep coming back. We knew you could do it. Didn't we, Robin? We knew we could do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. You're going to make me cry. Thanks.
Tony,
Take care. Have a good week.
Tony said something.
You too, Tony.
Tony said something very important, and we don't want to gloss over it. He said fogging doesn't work. Fogging does not work. I never have recommended fogging. People have invested tons of money in fogging and the cedar side they fog with, and it does not work. Why? Well, because fogging is kind of like spraying something. Say, for instance, you want to spray just your doorknob, and you spray it just from the front of the doorknob. So when you inspect the doorknob, you're going to find the front of the doorknob wet. That's what you'd expect. But when you inspect the back of the doorknob, it's going to be dry. It hasn't been impacted by the spraying or the fog that is going in that direction. Okay? However, when you use an electrostatic sprayer, the electrostatic sprayer puts a charge, a positive charge on every particle coming out of that sprayer. And they are a fine mist, very fine mist. So when you spray the doorknob, I mean, you can be 10 feet away and spray that doorknob. It's going to just go over there. And after you inspect the doorknob, you're going to find the front of the doorknob wet like you'd expect. And when you look at the back of the doorknob, it's going to be wet also. Because everything in the environment is negatively charged. And the spray is positively charged. So when the spray comes out, it not only is attracted to the front, but whatever spray goes over top of that doorknob gets bent around because negative charge attracts a positive charge. It's going to get bent around and cover the back of the doorknob. Magic. And that's why we suggest electrostatic and never, I mean, if fogging would work, I would have it in our store. The foggers.
Right.
As simple as that. Unfortunately, cedar side may be okay, but you can't use it in an electrostatic sprayer. It will destroy it, clog it right up. So this is why we use other things like enzymes, and we use the disinfectants like Benefect. The only thing when you're using a Benefect, we recommend after you use it that you flush, that you take it out of the tank, and I mean you can save whatever's left there and you reuse it, but flush the electrostatic sprayer with clean water so you don't end up with the nozzles getting clogged.
I have, I purchased a exfoliator. It's really for the face, but I use it on my body. And it's like so many of these, the little white pieces come out of my skin.
Mm-hmm.
And I use it on my legs, I use it on my back, my arms, everywhere. And it's really, and so I got to the point where I was really not having anything wrong with me. I mean, my scars were healing. And then Christmas came along, and I thought it was safe to eat something, and I did, and it's kind of back in me now. But what I'm wondering, Richard, is it a good thing to exfoliate all these things out of my skin like this? I mean,
Well,
is it making it worse?
No, of course. You know, when you're on, the key is to be on the diet. That puts them to sleep or, you know, whatever, and makes it possible for you to clean your skin. So then that's why we suggest using the bath and the Nature's Gift in the bath along with a disinfectant. We do have exfoliant cream in our store. The exfoliant cream, in my opinion, and from what feedback I've gotten, is probably the best exfoliant cream you're ever going to find in the world. So I don't know what an exfoliator is, but whatever it is, if you can apply it with our cream, you'll get even better results. And when you use our cream, you first of all wet the skin, wet it with water or diluted Nature's Gift. Wet that area of the skin and then rub in our cream. It will turn white. As soon as you start massaging it, it's going to turn white. You massage and massage until all the whiteness goes away. But you're not done. You're only starting. You wet the skin again and begin massaging the skin without applying any more cream. It will again turn white. And you massage it until all that whiteness goes away. And then you can repeat that one more time. It will turn white again and massage it again until all that whiteness goes away. And shortly after, up pops all kinds of crystals and crap from your skin.
Yes, it's really wonderful to see all these things. I mean, it's just like little aliens coming out of your body. I mean,
yeah, you don't want them in there. You don't want them in there doing anything. They're not, you know, they're not benefiting you in there. That's what we want to do. We want to clean the skin, get them out.
Well, that's okay. So I'm going to continue to use this, and I would love. I mean, it's a wonderful exfoliator for the body and the face, and it even works if you're in the shower when you're wet. It even works in.
Mm-hmm.
And they had it on Amazon, and then after COVID, it more than doubled in price. But we did find a place that sells it for like $28.
Email me the information, would you please?
That's what I really would love for you to look at this product. I think it would be
Sure.
wonderful.
I would love to look at it and take a look at it, and we may put it into our store to make it easy. The goal of our store is to have basically everything you would want to deal with skin parasites at one place. So you will find things in our store such as Morgellons cocktail, which is a combination of 5 different essential oils that research has been done that says helps with Morgellons. It's not part of my protocol, but it's there. We also have super saturated potassium iodide. It's not part of our protocol, but it's there. So any tools or things that can help deal with skin parasites and clean the skin, I'm very grateful to look at and add it into our store.
Well, and also your lavender oil is the finest grade I've ever found, and at such a reasonable price. But I put that in everything, in my dog shampoo, in my shampoo, and I can be itching really bad. I can just put a little bit of lavender oil, and it's just gone. The lavender oil has been really important. In fact, I've probably bought one of everything, and more than one. I probably bought everything in the store. But I do have things that I cannot live without. And even when I'm done with Morgellons, I'm going to use debriding soap because my skin has never glowed so pretty. And it's just the greatest soap I've ever used. But
Great.
I was wondering also really quickly.
Your check is in the mail. Your check is in the mail. I
could talk all day long about your product, believe me. But also, I have to use the nose spray, the saline spray for my nose. Nose rinse, and I really have bugs up there. It's just a common thing. I even using it, my nose sometimes it'll start bleeding, and so I keep using it until I see a bloody bug come out, and then then I'm cleaned out. But it's a big problem, but it does work. There's one in particular that works really well. But to get everything cleaned out of my nose, that's the first thing I do in the morning and the last thing at night. Is that a common thing that happens?
Oftentimes it is. It gets into the nasal cavities and even into the ears and the eustachian area. So all of that is important. And we talked about using the Navage device a little bit earlier. So yeah, anything to clean it out. Some people do it with simply putting cotton up their nose saturated with nature's gift and maybe a light essential oil, not something that would burn them, but something that in light concentration that they can handle.
Yes, I will sometimes put a little bit of lavender oil around my nose, and that right there. For number one, immediately I start breathing easier, but that sometimes gets rid of it, or I can just put a few drops on a Kleenex and just kind of put it over my face and nose, and my whole face feels good. It just really is a relief. And another thing is I get bugs in my teeth, and so I bought at CVS this it's a sprayer that you put in your teeth that you use for your teeth, and I am a water pick, and I am amazed at the bugs that come out of my teeth. And right after, if you eat meat, there's certain if you eat salad, the bugs are green. I find that many times a day, after I eat, I always go up and use this in my teeth.
Do you use our toothpaste?
Yes, I love the toothpaste.
Great.
I love the taste, and it really works great. And
you don't spit it out, do you?
Oh yes, I do. Yeah.
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
No, you don't have to spit it out. So it's baking soda, nature's gift, and clove oil and peppermint. It's great. No reason to spit it out. and you use a water pick, that's great. The water pick, you brush your teeth, use a water pick, and then use a little, the things to clean between your teeth. What do you call that? That string cloth, yeah.
Dental floss.
The floss.
Dental floss, yeah. Listen, it's amazing what you'll find in there, in your teeth. They're there. I mean, so if people, get in front of a magnified mirror and do that, it's shocking to see what's in your teeth, because I can see where they've eaten around my gums, some of my teeth. So it was getting kind of scary. But if you could find a really good water pick. I'm on about my 5th one. They break real easy. The one I'm using now is from CVS, and it's just okay. It doesn't hold enough water. You have to fill it about 3 times. But I also use the mouthwash in with that water. And, the mouthwash is one of my favorite things to purchase. And if you do just sip a little bit of the mouthwash, it makes an unbelievable difference. But okay, that's mainly what I have a whole bunch of questions. I know the call's been going on a long time, but those things were really important for me to talk to you about as far as releasing. It certainly does. I learned early on that if I'm itching, that means something's biting me. So if I can get that, this product to get in, you just put this product over and the bugs all come out. There's no more itching. So to me, and there's no damage to your skin, like you haven't picked it, you haven't done anything that could cause an infection, but you just put the exfoliator over this where it's itching. You may not even see anything. You may not even see a bug. But
you won't.
Just rub it on it, and they come out. They
do. So thank you very much.
Richard.
Thank you very much for sharing.
Okay.
Keep coming back. Keep sharing. We appreciate that.
I will.
We love inspiration, and you provide inspiration for many others who are just beginning this journey, and that's great. And the mouthwash, wow, you can swallow that mouthwash. It's one of the best things that you can ever get.
And also, just really quickly, if there's anyone still having problems with your skin and you're not taking 3 baths a day, then when you start doing 3 a day, it's amazing how fast things will clear up. Because the body wants to heal, but we've got to get these things out of our skin. But I at first I thought 3 baths a day. That's kind of I didn't.
I don't have time for 3 baths a day. I got to work all day. I don't have time for 3 baths a day.
Yeah. Try it, and you will be amazed how freer you feel, how cleaner you feel, and so much more things can come out of your body and get rid of it, and you just feel better. I don't believe in sitting around and itching. I don't believe in that. I'm going to do something, and I'm not going to itch.
You're walking otherwise, you're walking around with all this crud in your skin, and it's not helping you feel better.
You're right.
Your skin is your largest organ in your body, and it's got baggage in it. That's not helping.
Another thing I would love for you to get is I bought this brush. It's from Amazon. And
what is it?
When I put this, it's a brush. It's made out of plastic, but it's just really, really thorough cleaning. It's not like getting one of those brushes that are so hard on your skin that you almost bleed. But when I put the debriding soap into this brush, I'll send you a picture of it and the number on it. And it really does get deep inside of, even if you have a wound, if you have you can feel the things, you can feel the little beads coming out of your skin, and you are clean. If you use this brush with your body test.
Send me all that information. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
I'm going to. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.